Caspervision. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Caspervision. Today, we have a super guest, Kallen, a.k.a. Slapped Ham. Huh? Slapped Ham.
Yes,
how you doing,
Cheers,
mate?
guys. Yeah, it's great to finally connect. We've chatted a bit on Twitter and stuff, but it's great to, finally talk in person.
It's incredible, man. It really is incredible. First of all, man, like I'm so appreciative of you allowing me to like react to your stuff, mate, and like how cool you've been about it. The work you do is amazing, and it just goes to show. I mean, how many subs you got now?
We are approaching 3 million now, man. It's getting pretty exciting. About 2.85 or something. So another couple of months we'll hit the big 3 mil, I think.
Yes,
that's
mate.
crazy.
And also like, you know, not forgetting about the views as well. Your views are fucking sky high, aren't they?
Yeah, man. It's been consistent the last couple of years, like through the pandemic and that. Everyone's been really tuning in and supporting the channel. It's been really, really great to see. And yeah, our views have just been like continually going up and they've been real steady. So shout out to our core audience for doing that. Like they're tuning in every week. It's amazing.
They're hardcore, aren't they, mate? Your fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was just saying off air that I just got off a live stream with them. It's been too long. I was just having a bit of a Q&A session with them, and it's been too long. I need to do that more often. It's so good chatting to the audience direct one-on-one and getting that feedback and hearing what they're loving and you know what they've been watching and what they're into. Yeah, it's I should do it more often. We're going to probably do a big Halloween stream, so that'll be a bit of fun.
Mate. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah.
By the way, if you see any of these soundproofing things fall behind us or anything like that, okay, I purchased the best sticky tapes that apparently you can get on planet Earth, and that's not fucking any good. So I don't know what happens. It's because it's against sponge. It's one of these. I can't remember what the name of it is.
Is it not because The Office was built
on a graveyard?
we better get it on film and we can feature it falling in the background.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, but mate, honestly, thank you so much, man, for being on the air and that. It's so good to finally speak to you. I've got some questions for you. Okay.
I imagine.
Lots of questions.
I bet you do.
Yeah. So one of which we need to address the elephant in the room, the hair, or the lack of, or maybe the upside down.
It's gone, eh?
Looks good.
It looks good, mate.
Just mixing my shit up a little bit, I think. Just, you know, there we go. That fell in the corner there. Did you see that?
Did it?
There you go. You can put us on. You can put us on your top 5 now, eh?
That'd be hilarious.
Oh God. But so yeah, I mean, was it
podcast for sure? No. Just shaved it off. I'm growing out my beard, so we're growing down this way and we're growing in this way. So just mixing up my appearance a little bit. It's keeping you all guessing.
Yeah, well, it's funny.
There's another one.
It's fucking hell. As soon as I said it, it's listening to me.
No.
Just
you guys are haunted.
I know, mate.
For sure.
Gotta go back on, man.
Yeah. We've got to get cardboard at the back of them, but it's just another job that I got to get round to doing, you know?
I like the setup, though, guys.
Cheers, man.
Impressive.
Cheers,
the
buddy.
lighting and that, it's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
a shame you couldn't come over for it.
Oh, man, I will. Once this pandemic loses a little spice, I'll be over there and we can catch up.
You ever been to the UK?
Yeah, man. Quite a few times. I actually lived in the UK in 2007.
Okay. Nice.
In Chertsey. Do you know Chertsey?
That's near Essex, is it? Is it Essex?
No, it's about 45 minutes out from London.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Surrey.
Oh, sorry, yeah, nice.
Tiny little town.
Sorry to hear that.
But yeah.
Sorry.
I had to repeat the joke there. Sorry to hear that.
Such a shit joke.
Because where are you guys based?
In Cornwall.
South
Red, right.
South.
Yeah. But what do you think of it?
I worked in a pub in Chertsey for 6 or 7 months, pulling beers and lived above the pub, and it was a hoot.
Oh, nice,
I love it there.
Man. Nice.
Did you find that, mate? I worked in a bar once, right? It was one of my first ever jobs. It was when basically you could work behind a bar when you weren't 18. That was many moons ago. But I had
Yeah.
to leave because every time I was working, somebody would be like, "Oh, cheers, mate. Get yourself one. Get yourself one.
End up
Get
pissed
yourself
as a
one."
fuck.
Every single night, mate. I was like, "Fuck, I've got 5 drinks to drink now." And of course, like a 17-year-old,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah.
Oh, mate, I was getting hammered every single night. I lasted a week. I couldn't do it.
It's very different over there. Yeah, like punters will buy the barman like drinks and stuff. We don't really do that here in Australia, unfortunately.
No.
No, it's not really a thing. Our pub scene's a little bit different. Have you been to Oz or not?
Oh, mate, I would love to.
I've been.
Man.
I've been,
Yeah.
mate. I've been out on a drink on nightclubbing in Australia. It's totally different, man.
What's it like? What's
It's
the
good fun.
difference? What's the difference, man?
It's just different vibe.
Your pubs over there are a little more like kind of homely, kind of. No, like a little bit like, you know, people go down to the pub, you know, to like spend your kind of evenings and you have a meal down there.
Yeah.
Here we just sort of get on the piss a bit too hard and like, you know what I mean? Like we drink pretty hard down there. It's just slightly different drinking culture, I think.
Right. Okay. But are you like do you like well, you've got a glass there, haven't you? Do you like the
Oh, I got a
drink?
Chicky Vino. I don't mind a drink here and there, but you know.
I must
Chicky
admit,
Vino?
mate, I did something very unprofessional.
What's that?
Well, I don't drink really, okay, but I decided to go for a drink last night with my brother. And yes, I got a little
where
bit
are you?
black.
Or what?
Well, mate, no. Well, I woke up in the morning. I felt fine. I was drinking, like, you know, this is all good. Anyway, I thought best get a taxi home now. Made myself a fuck off great sandwich when I got in. Just I put ham on it, cheese.
Slapped ham.
Slapped ham,
Did you slap the ham? Yeah,
yeah.
just slap it?
I slapped some ham on it.
Makes it tastier for sure.
Yeah. So I just made this big ass sandwich, and I woke up this morning. I was like, oh no, I clearly drunk too much last night. So I got up, made myself sick, just rambled it, and took some paracetamol, and then fell back to sleep. And I woke up, I was absolutely fine. So I'm actually all right. Yeah, not too bad. But yeah, that's my confession. I'm so sorry. Also, it's so unprofessional. My missus had to go. She's like, you know, you can't do that. You know, I know it's your brother and that, but you can't do that before a podcast. I was like, yeah, I know.
It's all right. I'll let it slip.
But mate, where did the name Slapped Ham come from?
Yeah, we get this a bit, particularly in live streams and in comments and that. And I wish there was a better story than there is, but it just comes from brainstorming. We just had a big old whiteboard and we were like, what are we going to name this thing? And put a whole bunch of random words on a whiteboard, linked them together. I do have a photo somewhere. It might be on our Instagram of the original whiteboard of all the different stupid names we came up with.
Oh, wow.
But we just linked slapped and ham and
it's got that naughtiness to it. That's what it is. It's the naughtiness that makes me feel.
Yeah, it's a little bit provocative. It's a little bit titillating. It's a little bit, you know, unusual. And we went with it, and here we are, all these years later.
Yeah,
nice.
and of course, then obviously the pig, because of the ham, right?
Yeah. We thought, we'll make a little mascot. Because like when we started, we were quite different. We used to do all sorts of different stuff, like gaming and history and science, and we were a bit more like top 10 focused, and we sort of dabbled with this idea of this kind of pig mascot, and we had little animations and stuff, and
I've seen some
that's it's quite heavy for production and that, so like we sort of moved away from that a little bit and just sort of made a little logo and sort of just kept it at that. Yeah, so it's sort of harks back to our original old cringe days, early days on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you think that your channel's still sort of evolving over time?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. As I said, yeah, we dabbled in all sorts of different stuff in the early days. And just to kind of see what stuck, you know, like we were sort of doing what we were interested in. I'm a big gamer. I love science. We were doing history stuff. But then, you know, the first time we did the scariest ghost photos of all time, it just went viral straight away.
Yeah, man.
And then we went, okay, yep, that went all right. And then we went back and did our usual stuff. And then we did like the scariest, unsolved mysteries of all time. And that went viral. It took us a little while before the penny dropped, I must admit. We were a bit stupid like that, a bit slow like that. But then we were like, okay, let's just double down into paranormal. And we went for it. And that's when we saw some very, very big growth in I think it was about 2017 onwards or so. We saw some real like traction. And we just, went straight into the supernatural niche, and it's worked.
When you say, you've been saying we quite a lot, as in like you've got a team. Did you have that team
right.
at the very beginning?
Yeah, I'll elaborate on that. My business partner is my brother as well.
Oh, wow.
Lee. So it's been the two of us since the beginning. And then we do have a team now. We just put on a digital community manager to kind of, interact with everyone a bit more now that the audience is just a bit too big for us to handle. And we have 2 freelance video editors. Big shout out to them. They do fantastic work.
Yeah,
and then we have a couple of freelance writers as well. I do most of the writing myself, but we have a couple of freelance writers as well. So, but mainly the core team's my brother and I.
Yeah. Well, that must, because a lot of people say don't, mix business with your family and stuff. But I think I'm starting to hear different points of view of that now. It must, obviously you must have disagreements and stuff, but what's it like working with your brother?
Yeah, absolutely. There is that old adage, don't work with a family, but it's worked pretty well. We, we have our own distinct roles. He does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. He does all sort of like the SEO and the metadata and the thumbnails, and he's sort of a bit more analytical like that. He'll look at our numbers behind the scenes. So he sort of does that, and then I do sort of front of house, so to speak, obviously doing the voiceovers and filming, but then we sort of share research together as well. That's kind of the secret sauce, I think. We've tried so many times to get like a researcher to help us, but only we know what we've covered, and only we know what will work and what's good and what's interesting. So that's kind of the secret sauce of the business, I think, knowing what we've covered over the years.
Yeah. Well, on the back of that, how do you remember the footage that you've seen? Have you got some sort of system I've got a system. I basically, which I put a like on all of the videos that I've seen. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I
might steal that off you.
So, because you've got, how many videos have you got now off the top of your head,
300 or 400, maybe more, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe even 500 plus.
And a lot of them are so similar as well, aren't they? I mean, I react to it and going, I think I've seen this, but the color looks slightly different. It's
Yeah, I totally get it. We have a system. We have a back of house. We use Trello. Do you know Trello? It's like
I've heard of Trello. Yeah,
it's like a workflow app.
Yeah.
So we have all our video editors in there. One of our writers, my brother and I are in there, and we it's all pipelined, and we have like a full system, and we'll be filling out a new episode, and then it'll go over to where the writers need to be. They'll start writing, etc., and we move it through that system, and that sort of keeps it. I guess we all sort of keep on top of what we covered and what we haven't. Admittedly, we do we'll cover a story again if we've done it in the past. Sometimes we will. Genuinely, sometimes we'll forget we actually have covered that. But we've got our processes and systems to kind of keep it all going.
Yeah. Sometimes I get, Ben, you've reacted to this one already. I'm like, what? Have I? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even remember. Must be hard, mate.
Too many nights in the pub.
Doing hundreds of
Too many nights in the pub. No. Yeah. But the other there's some questions I've got from the community. One of which clearly is, do you believe in the paranormal?
We get this a lot. Obviously, I'm super into it. I don't brand myself as like a kind of a ghost hunter. I've always shifted away from that. I think that's just not what we're about. Like, we're more about like the fun of it, the entertainment of it. I've always been into the supernatural growing up. Occasionally, you know, like there obviously are every week there are things you're like, oh, that you know brings up a fair bit of questions and mystery and that sort of stuff. But we've never wanted to be we've never wanted to be a debunking channel.
Yeah.
And two, we've never wanted to be like a hardcore ghost hunting, like we are positioning ourselves as experts, so to speak. So we always throw it out to the audience for them to make their own mind up. Like, we're kind of, I guess we're trying to facilitate a forum for people to chat about it, if that's probably the best way to put it. Yeah. I kind of, in terms of, you know, religion, I sort of identify as agnostic, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way of knowing for sure. You know what I mean?
That's like me, yeah.
People can have their faith and whatever, and I respect that, but 100% you can't, deep down, you can't know for sure. So that's kind of where I am. I'm sort of like an agnostic sort of spectator in it all, I guess.
Yeah. Do you like being scared? Do you like horror film? Do you like getting scared?
Yes and no. I mean, I don't actually like the visceral, you know, like, oh shit, hairs back up. I don't actually quite like that. Like,
it's supposed to be good for you, mate. It's supposed to be good for the heart.
Some people hunt for that, though, don't they? You know, like they'll watch horror films. They're into horror big time.
My
you know,
missus,
they just love it.
My missus is mental with that type of stuff, man. She loves
adrenaline, sort of, visceral response. There's something going on in the brain. Some people just watch it for that. We have like spoken in the past, my brother and I, about doing like some like urban exploration live on stream and you know, going to some famous haunting sites. I reckon I'd shit myself.
Mate, you should do that. You should do it, because me and Ben have sort of done that. We've been on ghost hunts, but it's more like just
it's a crack. It's just a couple of mates going out having a crack, because that's the thing. It like you can. And respect to the people that go out there and, you know, want to get the, you know, all the fancy lighting and the B-roll and the sort of like backstories and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, it works. It clearly works. And we've tried ourselves, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we found that the best ones are literally like the ad hoc, here, get a camera, let's fucking go.
Let's go to the woods and find some ruins.
And, like proper Blair Witch style.
Yeah, it's good fun more than anything. So if your bro's into that as well, then, you know, you're laughing. You go out and have a crack and it'd be a right laugh. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I reckon I'd have a right old time. I'd shit myself, but I'd have a right old time.
Is there many? Mate,
I'm telling you, if you came to the UK as well, or if we ever come to Australia, and we'd have to collab. We'll have to do that. Yeah, that'd be so damn.
Imagine that. Slap time at that.
You've got all the sites over there, like you got all the history, and here we've got like a burnt out old shack that's about 20 years old or something. You know, like, Macca haunts that occasionally. You know, pisses on in that shack. Ooh, spooky.
Yeah. But
we just don't have it.
They are good fun. They are good fun to go out there and do, mate. You know, because what happens is everything heightens. You know, especially then that, like you're hearing your sight, you think you're seeing shit and all this sort of stuff, and
egg each other on.
Especially when your equipment, that's right. Especially when your equipment starts going off from that, it's just like, oh my fucking god, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
We've caught voices and stuff, like strange voices.
When I was young, actually, my dad just randomly took us to this abandoned railway station. I have to ask my dad about this, because I would have been about 4 or 5 or maybe 6.
Yeah.
And he was like, upstairs is where all these satanic cults do all this praying, and I was absolutely shitting myself. I don't know what we were doing.
Scarred for life, mate.
It was during the day, so it wasn't that weird. But like we were walking around and there was stuff written on the walls, and I have to ask my dad about that, because that was super strange.
Go there, mate, and do a video with your brother. That would be good.
Yeah. I think it was some abandoned train station here in Victoria somewhere. I'll have to dig it up, find out where it was.
Is that where you live, Kallen? Is that you live in Melbourne?
Yeah. I'm in Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah, down south. So
Beautiful place.
It is. It's lovely here. We're just coming into spring now, so it's been a cold, wet winter here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's I'm more of a warm weather man myself, so I'm keen for the spring and summer to roll in for sure.
Yeah. So, you talking a little bit about your, growing up and that. Well, what was it like? What was school like? What was growing up like?
Yeah. Well, I went to a Steiner school. Do you know Steiner?
No.
I've
heard of Rick Stein. He's a fish and chip over
here. Yeah. No, I didn't go to his school. No. Weekends away with Rick Stein. No. It's like an alternative stream of education. It's Steiner was an Austrian philosopher.
Right.
He funnily enough looks a bit like Jeremy Irons. If they ever make a movie, they'll probably cast him.
Right.
Just as an aside. But no, it's this kind of alternative education. It's sort of holistic. It's this kind of natural approach.
Nice.
We grew up like the campus I was on was like rolling green hills, pastures. We milked cows, we did gardening, we did all this sort of like.
Shit, man. Why don't we have schools like that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm sure there's Steiner. I reckon there would be some Steiner in the UK. It's pretty worldwide.
Right.
But yeah, it was just this kind of very alternate stream of education. I did that till year 8 and then swapped to a public school, which was like a slap in the face kind of thing. Like it was chalk and cheese.
Oh, it was
we were making daisy chains and singing in the fields, and then we went to this like concrete jungle sort of.
My Lord,
yeah. I think you're onto it pretty much. Then we went to my friends and I swapped over because the Steiner school was nearby, and then we went to this public school. And it was, we described it as a concrete jungle. It was like such a change, the high school ended up being voted, I think, the 3rd worst school in Australia or something.
What? In Australia, mate, that's bad because that's a big place. Oh, you froze, mate. He's back. No, you're back.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're back.
Am I back?
Yeah,
we're back. It was like cage fights and people climbing up the locker cage and screaming. Jesus. And like it was another world. So that took some getting used to. And
joking aside, that must have been a massive shock to you, though. To be fair, joking aside,
yeah, huge. I was this kind of free range little child, and then had to figure out the public school system. But it was good for socializing, I think. Like we were quite isolated in this other stream of education, and then we went into mainstream, and it was good meeting people and figuring out how to socialize properly
at the right time of age as well.
All right. But it was super unmotivating. I mean, I didn't have any role models, and I was just sort of floating about. My motto was like, do the least amount of work possible and get through. And but then, finished high school and then went traveling, after high school. And, I went to the UK, worked over there, traveled all through Europe. I think I've been to over 56 countries or something now.
Jesus.
So travel's been a huge thing. It was a big sort of, I guess it was a couple more than a gap year, but it was about 5 or 6 years there. I traveled solidly.
Jesus. That must have given you so much life experience and be able to relate to different people, different cultures and things like that.
Oh, absolutely. I highly recommend anyone that's sort of, in their final years of school, highly recommend traveling. It's, it opens your eyes, it broadens your horizons. growing up in a small country town, like everyone's, you know, in everyone's business and this sort of thing. And you get out and see the world, and suddenly it's this massive thing, and it broadens your thinking. See different cultures. Like, highly recommend it for anyone who's thinking of traveling, because all my other friends were, you know, getting funneled into university or work, and they went and did that, and then, you know, sort of, I could kind of see that, you know, they were a little bit unfulfilled maybe doing that. So I went and traveled and saw the world and came. And then after a few years of that, I did sort of think, okay, I need to figure out what I'm doing. You can't just travel ad hoc forever, obviously. So I did some thinking, and writing was a real big part of my life. I was writing a blog while I was traveling and doing quite a bit of reading, and so I thought I'll come back to Melbourne and do a writing course. So I enrolled in TAFE. Do you guys have TAFE? It's kind of like it's a step under university, but it's kind of a stepping stone to university.
We call it like college. You come out of primary like education and go into college. And then
so I came back and enrolled as a mature age student into TAFE and did creative and professional writing, and got a really good education in, you know, fiction, non-fiction, you know, the classics, got a real just wide, broad speaking sort of, because prior to that, I was just reading what I was interested in. But then that really grounded me in what I should be reading, you know, in terms of a professional writer and that sort of stuff. So that gave me a real good solid foundation. And then
that's clearly helped you in your YouTube channel as well, isn't it? It's clearly helped you sort of like narrating through your YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Knowing how to kind of set the scene and like even just basic journalism, you know, the who, what, when, how, and, you know, what went down.
Yeah.
You've got to ground each story in that. So it's been invaluable for sure. And
have you you must have had some sort of sketchy experiences out and about in the world, seeing about 50 odd different countries. Has there ever been a time where you've gone, shit, I'm going to die here now, you know?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, travel does
especially
that
quite
to
dangerous, isn't it?
You to some weird shit. One of the weirdest ones, actually, I often think about. I've told this on the live stream before, but I was in China in like 2008 or something. It was early morning, like about 4 or 5 in the morning. Sun's just starting to come up, and we were looking for a pharmacy store. Walking through a park, heavy mist, like you can barely see a meter in front of you.
Shit.
Out of the mist comes a lady walking backwards.
Oh,
at
fucking
like
hell!
4
like
in the morning. Walking backwards direct, like that's like where I thought, oh, I've lost my marbles, and like ghouls are absolutely real, and there's zombies, and
mate,
fuck that.
Just out of the mist, she comes walking backwards. And then it turns out she was just exercising, like running backwards at 4 a.m. in the park.
Imagine if she's just like,
yeah.
Oh, mate.
Mate. I would be like, motherfucker, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Did she have long black hair?
Absolutely browned myself and got the hell out of there. It was just the strangest.
At least you weren't on your own.
Yeah. No. I was there with a friend at the time, and we just absolutely packed ourselves because we looked at each other like, "Is this happening? Like, what's going on here? Are we in a zombie movie all of a sudden?" Like backwards, for heaven's sakes, just jog normally. Like it's creepy enough.
Jesus.
Shit. And what would you say is one of the nicest countries you've been to? One most memorable, maybe.
I wrestle with this a bit. My top is Japan, probably.
Yeah.
Oh man, Japan's just bonkers on another level. It's like a alternate universe.
Really?
Just fun, futuristic, but it's got all its history, and the people are amazing. The food's, on another level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been to Japan a few times now, and it's like I highly recommend. Switzerland's up there as well.
PewDiePie's just moved to Japan, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
Yeah, he's loving it. It took him fucking
following that. Yeah, he's seems to be loving it. He goes there quite regularly, or he did go there quite regularly, and now he lives there.
Yeah. It took him quite a long time. I think it took him about 3 or 4 years to get all the permissions and everything like that. And of course, obviously, COVID. So, I think he just fell in love with the place, like what clearly you did. And he's just like, fuck it, me and the wife are going to go there, live there,
Oh man, yeah. I'd love to live there for a bit. It's just so good.
I suppose the beauty of the YouTube is you could take it anywhere, couldn't you, around the world, as long as you've got internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I bet Japan's got
the last
fucking
couple of years, it's really it's really broadened our horizons, and we've just been like, potentially we could set this business up anywhere.
Yeah. So Japan, anywhere else?
Switzerland always comes to mind.
Okay.
It's just picture postcard perfect there. There's barely a blade of grass out of place over there. It's just insane.
Really?
Yeah, it's just sickening almost. So you're like waterfalls and like meadows and people prancing about. It's just perfect. Love to get back there.
You did that? What year did you do this? Like all the traveling around?
I've had quite a few different travel stints. So I worked in England in 2007 and then backpacked through Europe the following year.
Yeah.
Then I did a big Asia stint in 2008, 2009. Then in 2012, I ended up, after TAFE, I went to university and studied writing there a little more formally. And they had a study abroad program in Italy. So I grabbed that with both hands, obviously having traveled quite a bit. So went and did a semester abroad in Italy in 2012, 13.
Yeah.
And lived in a little town called Viterbo, about an hour outside of Rome.
Viterbo, wow. Everyone's running around like fucking crazy over there. Turbo.
Yeah.
Turbo. Oh, God.
Yeah. Beautiful little town, though. Cobblestone streets, nice. All the like quintessential Italy. Like I had a little apartment there and just studied at the university there. I did travel writing, cooking. Why not? Just did a little class in cooking, which was awesome.
Well, this is it.
Renaissance Gardens, which was just a little bit off the garden path a little bit there, which was interesting. We just traveled around to like the best gardens in Italy and went into the history of them, and that was stunning. Yeah, so good. Man.
Just that alone, like like you say, you get to understand different cultures and even seeing things and just learning about gardens. Like, it's just it's almost like you're upgrading yourself every single time you go somewhere a new country. You're just learning so much. It's amazing. I would love to do it, mate. I would absolutely love to do it. Go on.
You've got a suite over there. It's a short flight to all these amazing countries.
Yeah. But what would you say is come on, you got to tell us the worst country. If you say the UK, we're fucking stopping now. Hang on, you're gonna go through your analytics now on your channel and go which one least watches my channel.
Who do I not want to alienate?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Come on.
I'm a positive guy. I think I'll just lean towards the best ones.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, mate. But you said earlier, which I'm quite intrigued about. You said like you didn't want to be a debunking channel. What do you think about debunking channels? Because I've got my view on debunking channels.
Yeah.
My view is, I think everybody's got the right to do channels, whatever they want to cover. I think in some ways it's really good entertainment, but I also think is it unfair for the people out there who are trying to succeed on YouTube and create their own channels? That's my feel towards it. I've got nothing negative personally towards anybody who does these things, but I do feel like it's a bit of a it's like a party pooper in a way, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And we get like our fair share of hate, obviously.
Yeah.
Fair flood of hate. But yeah, no, because, you know, short of actually seeing a string or something pull a chair, you know what I mean? Like, often these debunking channels are like, oh, there'd be a breeze there, or the window's open, or this would happen for sure. And they're like speculating as much as the other person is, you know what I mean? That unless they get access to that same room, they can do the same tests and like really be empirical about it and set up like, you know, different tests. They're kind of speculating as much as anyone. But a lot of people do position themselves as these like expert debunkers, and it's like, well, it's kind of your opinion, mate. You know what I mean?
It's just
like,
a really strong opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Like there must have been a breeze. And I've debunked that. I said there was a breeze.
Yeah.
And then we get comments, people saying, oh, so-and-so debunked it. He said there was a breeze. And it's like, well, did he know there was a breeze? No one knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And it is
that's a green screen.
Like,
do we really know that it's a green screen? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, that's CGI or whatever. And it comes to like, it's a bit of a party pooper type thing, you know. It's people are making content for whatever reasons they're making content, and like we like to just put the best stuff out there, you know, for fun, for people. Like people, we get feedback from our audience all the time, just like, I love just putting your stuff on, kicking back, and you know, just enjoying the weird stuff.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Because
there's a real element to that, and people really resonate with just like being able to like suspend their disbelief for a little while and live in this strange world and
just escape.
So we want to, we want to facilitate that kind of world for people where they, you know, weird shit happens, and we don't want to like say no, this isn't true or this isn't, and you know, we're just along for the fun of it.
Yeah. Do you do you feel sometimes that you're pressured to have certain types of content out there, you know, or be something, or stop doing this so much and do more of this so much? And, you know, especially I'd imagine because your channel's so big now, it's at first, it must have been just the odd mention here and there, which you can sort of shrug off. But then it's because your channel's so big, it's just like you have more of it about who you should be, how you should create, and what you should put on there. It
funnels it down, doesn't it?
The pressure, the pressure for you must be pretty tough, I would imagine.
Yeah. I get it. Funnily enough, and a lot of the pressure comes from the YouTube algorithm.
Right.
Like the YouTube sort of says, you know, be creative and do what you want, but once you find your niche, funnily enough, you are kind of locked into it in terms of the algorithm. Because once the algorithm knows what your audience wants, you kind of have to feed the beast over and over and over and over. Not to say that we love what we do, but like, for example, we would love to do a little more true crime and that sort of, you know, mysterious real life, you know, crime, but the algorithm for years has always told us, nah, stick to your lane. You know, we'll throw something out there about a famous crime, and it just won't go out.
Why fix something that ain't broke?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's almost like it gets suppressed and just doesn't go out to our usual audience. So then, and not to mention the minefield of community guidelines with real crime and violence and stuff. It does get hard.
Yeah.
You have to sort of skate around that, and Paranormal actually is quite a good safe haven for that, because you know, there's less murder, etc., you know, real life violence, which the community guidelines are really specific about. And funnily enough, I'm seeing like, you know, YouTube's launching their podcast section now. I don't know if you've been following that.
No,
and there's going to be
maybe I should.
That's where we're going wrong.
Yeah. I don't know when it launches.
Podcast, what?
There's going to be a full podcast section, and there's going to be a big true crime area.
Okay.
Where I'm a bit like, oh man, like the last couple of years we've been punished for doing true crime. And, now we're seeing that you're doubling down on it because it's turned out to be quite popular,
Yeah.
Netflix does big true crime documentaries, it's such a massive thing now.
Women love women love crime stories as well, don't they? Women. They fucking love that.
Yeah, my wife does.
Yeah.
She loves a crime.
Yeah. My partner's super into true crime. So like
I worry sometimes, like, is she planning, like, if she wanted to kill me, she could probably do it and get away with it. The amount of stuff she's watched,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does make you a little concerned. Some of the people are watching so much.
Maybe that's why they're watching it, Ben. She's planning it.
Yeah,
she's
maybe.
planning it, mate.
So okay.
Well, my partner always says she watches it so she knows what could happen, like how they'd get in and what they'd do, and then she'd know how to get out of it.
But the thing is, joking aside, I think it can make you paranoid, can't it? Especially when you start seeing, these children got abducted and all that sort of stuff. Like my missus, like, Aurora's outside, or like, who's with Aurora now outside? And obviously, you got to look after her. But it's just heightened because you just watch, you're consuming all this stuff. It's a bit like when you're consuming loads of horror movies.
Yeah.
You're just shitting yourself going to the toilet at night. Well, I don't. I just fucking Rambo everything. But
liar.
Better than fiber. Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, you think about going into like true crime and stuff like that. But have you? So you're quite comfortable then of keep on going what you're doing. Have you thought about like a separate channel maybe of doing that and giving that a tester?
Yeah, I mean we're loving where we're at the moment. Like we love the genre, we love the videos, and it's super fun to make. So at this stage, we're pretty happy where we are. Like years ago, I tried a gaming channel and like super just like off, something very different.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed, but didn't stick at it, and we stuck at this obviously, but Yeah, we're happy where we're at, and we're experimenting on TikTok and trying to find like what works over there. Obviously, we try and keep on top of what platforms are doing what. We're on Facebook as well and Instagram, and we chop up our content and try and deliver a different voice for every platform. But we're trying to figure out what's going to work on TikTok, obviously, because that's where the eyeballs are. So yeah. It depends on what we're doing, really.
I think with TikTok, what I've heard is, in my own opinion, I think it's great for exposure if you can get it right. It's really good for exposure. Financially, it's not. It's not where you want to be going to. If you want to go, if people going on to TikTok thinking that they're going to make it with like money, I just don't think that's the right way, because there is just
absolutely.
I went to a convention in London, and I started speaking to this girl who was on TikTok, and she had like loads of views, loads of followers, and she said the money is crap, and she gets all her money from like sponsorships and people sending her clothes and things like that, But you can have one video that just goes boom, millions of views overnight. It's crazy. So like, I think that's a great platform to get the word out there,
Yeah. I've heard like millions of views will get you a couple of dollars over there. It's like insane.
Yeah.
It's all about brand integrations over there. And then funnily enough, I reckon what you see is people get the audience over there and start doing it full time. And then they're like, well, how do I make a living out of this? And then funnily enough, they come over to YouTube and start doing longer form content because it's a little more sustainable on YouTube. It's got the revenue, the ad model. So a lot of TikTokers end up making the full circle over to YouTube. But then funnily enough, YouTube's now launching shorts. They're trying to get into the short game. So it's like all these platforms are just trying to copy each other.
Yeah, I've heard it's not going too well for YouTube, these shorts at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing it. And we're starting to do some shorts. We release one short a week just to be part of it. You know,
there,
you never know. We sort of see it as it's almost like because it's a very different algorithm to the normal video, how a normal video goes out. It doesn't actually reach our audience normally. It goes out. It's almost like a lottery system.
Yeah.
You know, people are thumbing up. So we throw content out there. We just do little, 1-minute segments to see if it's going to work or not,
Yeah.
It's always a good idea, whatever YouTube's pushing with their latest product, to get on board. And
I think so. I try. I mean, I've got my own shorts channel, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. I thought, fuck it. I started my own channel. I was like, I'm going to be doing some shorts. I think I did about 2 videos. I was like, do you know what? I'm actually not feeling this. Yeah. I think the only way it would happen is if I sort of like maybe chopped up my videos that I react to, and then just bring it into a short instead of doing sort of unique stuff for just for shorts, But going back on TikTok, community wise as well, did you see that? Did you clearly you're on TikTok? Do you look at it a bit?
Yeah. We try and keep abreast of what's going on over there.
Did you see that woman that I'm talking about community now? She has like fucking millions of followers on TikTok. Okay. And my heart bled for her. It really did. She put up that she wanted to do a meet and greet, right, in this convention, and she cordoned off this whole fucking area, this massive area, okay, and she had a little pedestal there, and she was stood there. Nobody turned up. Nobody turned up.
She got millions of followers on there.
She got millions of TikTok followers. Nobody turned up.
Probably all bots.
No. What they're saying is it's because people don't connect to the people on TikTok.
Yeah, because it's a short video. That's it.
It's so easy to. I like that follow. I like that follow. So you might have millions of followers, but they're just a follow is just almost like a heart, isn't it, on there? Whereas I don't think anybody can get that sort of community feel like YouTube. People like on Twitch, it doesn't happen. YouTube is the only place where you actually feel like a part of the community, and the community feels like a part of you because they watch you for so long. I mean, Christ, how long have you been doing YouTube for now?
I was thinking about this the other day. 2014. So
you're going to say 24 years then?
Over 8 years.
Oh, 8 years, yeah?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 24 years then. I was like, shit. When did you...
I was doing it like 10 years before YouTube was even invented then.
Yeah, preparing, mate. Forward thinking. But
just been talking at a wall.
When did you feel like, holy shit, I think I've made it?
When did you stop doing Uber?
Because your life now must be so different to what it was. I mean, obviously, it sounds like you had a fantastic life beforehand, experience in the world, good upbringing, whatever. But your life now, it must be so different to what it was.
Yeah. In many ways it is. But in many ways, like, that's the funny thing about YouTube. You can be running it out of your bedroom. You know what I mean? And, like, you don't have to do these big press tours of, like, say, a big movie star or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not comparing myself to a movie star, but you can just run it all out of your bedroom and not kind of feel all that different, which in many ways I don't. Like, I still hang out with all my old mates, and and here in Australia, like, our audience is like 90% United States almost.
Yeah.
So here in Australia,
that's weird.
I don't really get noticed or anything. There was a lady at my local supermarket who's like, oh, you're that guy, like you're that slapped ham man. Yeah. I was like,
and that's why you shaved your head.
Checking out my beans, like, I was scanning a pack of beans or something in, like, ratty hoodie, and like, oh, you're that slapped ham guy, and I was like, oh man, it caught me a little bit off guard, but like, with stuff like that, it's really strange. Yeah, I must admit.
It's strange for me, mate. I've been noticed a few times now, and it is strange.
Yeah,
But
I bet.
it's surprising that 90% is from America.
Yeah, huge,
like
huge.
I thought, because Australia's quite a, I think from what I can picture, a very strong like country, aren't you? You're very proud of your country and you stick together. I would have thought it would have blown up more in Australia for you.
Yeah. I mean, we're very isolated geographically as well. Like, we're kind of part of Asia, really. Like, we're down here in the bottom,
You've only just got internet
China,
over there, haven't you?
Southeast Asia.
You've only just got internet. You've only just got internet.
Oh, yeah, no, don't get me started. Our internet is rubbish here. Absolutely atrocious. It took about 10 years to roll out a thing, and then once it rolled out, it was out of date anyway, and it's been an absolute sham. We're finally, like, in the last year or so, finally getting decent speeds, but nothing compared to the rest of the world.
Mm.
But, yeah, like I was saying, we're isolated geographically, like, so we are kind of a little bit insular like that. We're the classic Aussies, I guess we do stick to it together a bit and have our own identity. But yeah, no, just for whatever reason, we've found a United States audience and a UK audience and a Canadian audience. And
do you think it might be down to them being more sort of into paranormal?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty like, shoot from the hip down here, like, oh, mate, you taking the piss? What's going on here? That sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could well be that America is quite steeped in their mythology, and they love, urban legends and a lot of, they have basically all their movie culture and everything out of there. So yeah, we're just a bit different, I guess.
I think mine is about like it's about 50-50. 50.
Oh, really? Yeah. Because I think the way the algorithm works too is it tries to find you a local audience, but for whatever reason, ours has gone out and found a more global audience, because we went to VidCon in Anaheim in California in 2016, I think it was, and like wasn't noticed at all. We were small fish, like, I think we were about 150,000 subscribers at the time or something. We were just doing some networking and stuff, but yeah, like no one noticed us, nothing. So it'd be interesting doing a VidCon now in LA. I feel like it might be a bit different.
Mate, that'd be amazing. I remember when we first made contact, you and me. I think it was on Twitter. You mentioned to me about how, and I don't know whether you're still doing this, you were trying to help other channels in some way. You're building some sort of system, or you were doing sort of mini collabs and stuff like that for smaller channels to grow. Can you remember that? It was a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done a collab in a while, to be honest, and I guess the pandemic factors into that. Like, we just sort of went into kind of ISO mode and just did our thing. But prior to that, like we loved giving shout outs to smaller channels. We used to do collabs with smaller channels all the time. And because like early on in our journey, like the beginning of like getting into YouTube, a mate of mine, do you know Danger Dolan by any chance? Massive YouTuber here in Australia.
No, I don't know.
He has about 3 or 4 channels that are over 1 million subscribers. Sure. Just bonkers. But he was big in the like top 10 space. And I was mates with him, and he sort of wandered in and told me how well he was doing. And that was kind of the impetus of like starting YouTube. I was like, wow, you can do this, and you can grow an audience, and you can, earn a living. And kind of the next day, like I went and bought just a shitty microphone and told my brother, and we're like, let's give this a go, know, and like, so yeah, like he gave us a shout out early in the beginning there, which seeded our channel almost immediately, which I'm like forever grateful for, because it's those early, like, first 10 subscribers, the first 100 are like an absolute grind, you know. We actually got a real leg up with that, and like we hit 10,000 subscribers relatively quickly. But then our grind came from, I reckon, about 10,000 to 100,000. Like we grinded that out for about 3 or 4 years. I reckon there was real tough time there, but we stuck at it. And so, yeah, we like to recognize, you know, shout outs do help. And so, you know, small channels, if we see potential, we'll always try and like give them advice, or, you know, tweet, or, you know, retweet their stuff, or wherever we can. You know, we'll like to work with promising people.
Yeah. Why do you think, mate? Like, because being obviously somebody that reacts to other channels and things like that, I generally now, because I got stung once, so, and this was like a year ago or so. So now what I do is I like to ask for permission, you know, from the channel that I'm reacting to. So I found that there's two types of people. Ones are just like you, who say, yeah, man, you go for it, love your stuff, whatever, you know, crack on. And then there's some people that literally just like, no.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so okay for me to react to your stuff? And why do you think there's other people that just be like, no, I'm not having it? Because like it's totally from one spectrum to the other. You're like, yeah, fucking go, man. Yeah, do it, love it. You know, it's crazy in my head.
Yeah, I totally get it. I guess it's different points of view, but like my point of view is like the creator economy. You know, like we all borrow from each other anyway. You know, obviously we in a way are reacting to the stuff we're writing about anyway. Like we obviously try and get permission, and we license the majority of our content anyway. But it's a creator economy. Like I think that's what the internet's great for, that you can kind of borrow and redo and reshuffle and create new stuff. If everyone was just tight, you know, and didn't share their stuff, you know what I mean? Like the content and the stuff that's getting created would be worse for, I think. Like people would be making less, particularly starting out in YouTube. You know, you'd kind of do have to borrow a lot more and kind of react to things, or, you know, and look to people that are bigger than you. So now that we're in a fortunate position, I like to recognize the creator economy and let people use the content, and, you know, more the merrier is my outlook. And then, obviously some people have the other thing. It's kind of like, I worked on this. It's a very personal thing. And I don't want anyone else to use it. So, I mean, it's everyone's, it's up to their taste or how they see things. But I tend to just be sort of a positive dude that just, I love seeing other people succeed. You know, it took us years to succeed. So to help anyone else we can, like, you know, more for it.
What do you think? Sorry, mate. So you want to say something?
Well, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
I thought I heard something. No, I just. What advice would you give to people that want to start up a YouTube channel? And I obviously, depending on what you're covering, I suppose you have to have a different approach. But because there's lots, isn't there? There's lots of top 5 paranormal channels out there, and you know, what advice would you give to people that are thinking about doing some sort of top 5, or, you know?
We get this a bit in live streams and stuff, and I always just say to start. Like people are like so hesitant to like put something out there and just give it a go. Like, you know, our phones, you know, you've got 4K phone in your pocket, take it out, get used to chatting to the camera, or, you know, get even a cheap microphone is what we did. Like, I think our microphone was like $50 or something, and just get used to doing voiceovers and start and like play around with what it is you want to make, because some people get like so caught up with like, what am I going to make, and is it going to be perfect? And, you know, I want to put the best thing out there. it's not really how it works. Yeah, it's
you evolve, don't you? You just have.
Yeah,
you
it's
get
terrifying. Like looking back at our original stuff, it's just a steaming pile of garbage. But you got to go through that, you know. Like you got to evolve and you got to play the game and learn it and figure out what the algorithm is and figure out what you want to make as well. Like if you're not having fun doing it, you're gonna bomb out and you're gonna not be able to create the content because it's a as fun as it is a bit of a grind. You know, you gotta put out content week after week after week. So you gotta love what you do. You gotta, you know, find what your niche is and your voice and that takes time, but you gotta start. Like people just don't start. They're like, oh, I've got this idea or I want to do this or just do it, like put it out there, figure it out. And, like you'll pretty quickly find out whether you want to do it full time or not.
Go on. The thing I've noticed with, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not a content creator, but when I'm watching people on YouTube, I can see straight away within 30 seconds of watching it if they enjoy doing what they do, and I think to me that's the biggest thing. If you don't enjoy doing the videos that you do, people will see that straight away, and you won't grow, you won't get the views. You know. Yeah, that's the biggest one. If you enjoy it, you can see it straight away.
Burn out as well. Like if you're not having fun, like you'll just be like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this week to week. Like it's just not my jam. So like, so jump in, have a go, and figure out whether it is for you or not. Is my advice.
And the other thing is, it's best to make mistakes early on, you know, and you can sort of change things. So like. Because if your subscriber base is like really small or none, you know, you can just go, okay, clearly that didn't work. And they're like, exactly what you did. Well, that didn't work. Well, let's try this. This didn't work. And then you get to the point you go, oh, hang on a second, this is now working. And you just evolve. I find myself that because sometimes I get a little. I asked you a question earlier about pressure and stuff like that. Sometimes I feel it because when I react, I like to put my own, like we say, sauce on it, you know? I like it to be, I don't want to just put up, say, for example, a slapped ham top 5 or whatever, and just sit there and, you know, not express what I feel and just basically using your bloody footage. I want to try to entertain and things like that. Now, you know, I feel over time, we were having this conversation earlier.
Yeah, we were.
That I get comments sometimes that, oh, Ben, you're talking too much, you're doing this, or you're not talking too much, or you're being too loud, or you're pausing too much, and all this sort of stuff. And some part of me thinks, oh, fucking hell, let me just go back to my older videos. Let me just look at how I have changed. And I do see a slight change, but what I feel is, do you know what? I think it's my confidence has gained. And so I feel now more free. If I want to fucking talk shit, you know, I'll do it because I feel confident to doing it. And I feel like what I'm saying is, I don't know, adding something. Now, you can't make everybody happy, you know.
You'll always get bad comments, mate. You can't please, and it gets so big, you know. You're bound to get them.
Yeah, but that's the pressure sometimes that I feel. And that's why I asked you the question about, you know, people like, oh, no, not I don't know, not an alien top 5. We want a paranormal and stuff, but talking about aliens, do you believe in aliens?
Well, see, this is probably where I'm most interested in the supernatural because, like, the vastness of space, I'm just fascinated by. Like, how can it be that big?
Oh, mate, we had a conversation the other night, and it went on for about 3 hours. We were talking about the James Webb telescope that took photo 13 billion light years away.
We were having a right,
and it was like
tiff.
That. Oh, mate, yeah, we spoke about it for hours, dude. Just got lost.
It was like if they can see 37 billion miles away.
No, 13 billion light years away. 13
billion light years away. If they went further back, would we see the Big Bang? And I was like, no, because it's already there. Mate, we had a conversation, literally, it was about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. We were talking about fighting, shouting. I actually brought up paint on my shared screen paint. I was drawing a circle. I was fucking over.
When diagrams are coming out.
It was, mate. Yeah, but you definitely believe in aliens and stuff like that, yeah?
Like I said, that fascinates me the most because how can it be that big and vast and like how can there be nothing out there? Like, or if there's nothing, then what the heck as well. Like, why are we the only intelligent people in like infinite vastness, like that keeps expanding forever and ever?
Yeah.
And we are the only people that can observe it. Like, like
it's a bit narrow-minded, isn't it?
Yeah.
To think that we're the only ones.
Yeah. It's full on. Like, so yeah, that is one of my, like, we love doing alien content, but often if we do a bit too much, our audience is like, go back to ghosts. You know what I mean? To bring it back to like what the audience was like.
I think it's hard to find as well. Alien footage is actually quite hard to find. It's usually just like a 20-second clip of something, or it's not sort of or like proper footage.
Someone who does see something and then they just decide to film somewhere over and shake the camera for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Just film that one thing, please. Like, you had one job.
You had one job, yeah.
But the thing that gets me is the Pentagon, how they've kind of said, oh, there's quite a bit of military footage.
Yeah.
Like, it's grabbed on like military grade, infrared quality, all this crazy military tech. And they're like, oh, we can't explain this flying thing. Like, we don't know what it is. It's like, well, okay, is that Russian? Is it Chinese? Is it something from into space? Like, what's going on there?
What blew my mind about that one is I read about it recently, and they tracked it, and then it went from like 60,000 feet back down to the ocean in less than like a second on their radar, and then they tracked it with their weapon system, and it actually it stopped at the point where their mission was supposed to go. So it's almost like that craft read. It could read the Navy's like plans on where they were supposed to go.
Where they were tracking.
Yeah. Unreal, man.
And you see them like dip into the water and stuff too without even like making a splash. And
from what I've heard, mate, is they fall. They're using gravity. So they change gravity in front of the ship, so they're actually falling into that space. So there's no propulsion system. That's why you can't see anything coming out of the back of these UFOs. And that's why they can change direction so quick, because they can manipulate gravity around the ship. So they're falling all the time in any direction.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's that Bob Lazar stuff. Are you into all that? Did you watch?
What did you say, Bubbler's ass? What?
Bob Lazar ass? Have another beer, son. No, it was Bob Lazar.
Oh, Bob
Lazar.
Oh, Bob Lazar. I thought you said like Bubbler's ass or something. Like, what?
Bubbler's ass. Fuck, Sorry, Kallen.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff. Yeah. But yeah, when it's caught on like military tech grade stuff, you're like, wow, like what are they watching? Like when it's just like someone with a phone or something, maybe it's a drone or weather balloon or something. But when it's like tracked by military grade equipment, it's like, okay, this is something else.
So there is that theory that because we've had a massive jump in technology over since the Roswell. So one theory is that they found technology on the Roswell, on the ship, and they've slowly been releasing what they've learned about it.
Yeah.
What do you reckon about that theory? Do you think?
And they're like using the tech for themselves or something like that.
Yeah. When did that happen? When was the Roswell?
It was like the 40s or 50s, wasn't it?
Was
or something like that.
But the way we went from radio to digital, and then look at what we've got now. It's such a leap. It's exponential,
so fast,
so fucking quickly. Yeah. It's such a it's like, what's going on here? Yeah.
One that does actually wrinkle my brain a bit is the idea that we are actually in a simulation.
Fucking hell, here we go.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, like I think about that all the time, because like you're talking about
Elon Musk says it, doesn't he?
Like tech's expanding exponentially. So 200 years from now, like we're already dabbling in metaverse stuff. Like, so tell me in 200, 300, 400 years, we're not going to have a reality system that is almost identical to reality. And maybe we're just a historic playback, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're part of, you know, we're a conscious replay of history or something like that, you know, just for 1,000 years from now or something.
It's
And we
mad.
think we're, you know, in control or whatever, but we're just a historic replay or something like that. Stuff really
That I can't remember
gets
his
my
name.
noggin ticking over.
That professor, I can't remember his name now. He actually mentioned that. He broke it down quite sort of. He says it's a high possibility that is the case, but also that we could be in. You know, there's different. You know, we could be in a virtual reality, but the person who is in virtual reality seeing us could also be in a virtual reality. There's other levels to it. You know, I mean, that's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of like multi-dimensional sort of stuff, but it's like maybe we're just on a server somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, look at Unreal
server somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Unreal Engine now, what that Unreal Engine can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck
like
me. It's amazing.
All you got to do is think, 100, 200 years from now, it's going to be lifelike and it's going to be metaverse like interaction, and we're going to start downloading or recording history in a way, you know.
Yeah.
And then maybe, you know, the avatars become self-conscious and we're just one of them.
No way.
In 1,000 years or something, but we think we're living our life. Like,
yeah. There's so many like wonders in the world of, you know, even down to the pyramids and stuff like that, you know, technology. It's just, man, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever know though. Right. I want to,
that often saddens me. I'm like, I'm going to die someday and I'll never know what the answers are.
Yeah.
Or maybe you will. Maybe when you die, that's when you find out.
Yeah,
all the answers.
maybe. I always like to think.
Why do the ghosts fucking tell us then?
Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And also,
I like to think when you die, you get a little end screen and it tells you your top score and like the best things you've done and how many miles you ran, and you get all that.
That'd be good. Yeah, that would be good.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Maybe that's what the paranormal is, mate. Maybe it's like a little ghost of what previously happened from somebody.
Yeah,
on
like
their
your best
virtual
run
reality,
or
like
something
that,
in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What games do you like, Kallen? What games do you play?
Oh,
do you still
man.
play?
Yeah, I'm a big gamer. I'm PlayStation 5 at the moment.
Nice.
What am I playing? I got lost in Elden Ring.
Oh shit!
I did about 100 hours in Elden Ring, man. Oh my god.
Ben did 100 hours trying to kill one boss.
I haven't done 100 hours in anything for years.
Well, listen to this prick. Yeah, go on, say it again.
Ben did 100 hours just trying to kill one boss once. I think he streamed 3 nights in a row trying to kill the same boss.
No.
Which boss was it?
Come on, man.
No. I'm a professional gamer.
Yeah,
okay?
so he says, mate.
I'm a professional gamer, and basically the reason why a certain boss took a long time is because I didn't want to. I'm a bit stubborn. I didn't want to upgrade myself. I didn't want to upgrade myself to the point of where I could just slice this thing in one. You know, I wanted to beat this thing on minimum strength, minimum armor. Yeah, and I did it.
Yeah,
just to prove that I'm a
100
professional.
hours, you did it. Yeah,
it is such a good game. It's one of those games that I don't usually go to. I hate the idea. I like linear games. Here's a level, get the boss, next level. Here's the idea of just having this massive world you could just wander around on a fucking horse and just for hours to get to a certain, just bores the shit out of me. But Elden Ring is the only game that I've actually thought, oh shit, this is good, and I don't mind.
I missed
doing
that actually, mate. That was good. It was good entertainment watching you play that. It was definitely fun.
Yeah, because I didn't play any of the other Souls games prior to it, so it was my first like foray into that kind of brutality, and boy. It's so hard, wasn't it? Like you just
it is good. It is hard, yeah. Oh, you've frozen again. At least you've frozen with a smile on your face. There he is.
There
He's back. He's back. Yeah. It is hard.
I was just having a good time, was I?
Do you play any shooters or anything? Do you like shooting games? Like COD, all that?
Yeah. COD and Overwatch. I'm pretty keen for Overwatch 2 whenever that drops. If that'll ever drop.
Never played that.
They reckon that'll be soon, maybe November or something, which would be pretty cool.
What about Super
all the
People?
Battlefield games as well, I'm a big fan of as well. Except the last one was a little poo.
A little poo?
Yeah, we would have
I was disgusted. Mate, when we played the beta, right? And I thought, this is fucking good. This is good.
Yeah.
And then, so I pre-ordered the main game. Bought you it as well.
For my birthday, mate. Bought it for my birthday. Didn't
So hyped, and we were like, "Whoa, man, let's go!" Like, and within about half an hour, we were like, "This is crap, man." Like, just walking for about 20 minutes to a point, and then it's boom.
But it was almost like the beta, mate. I swear to God, the graphics on the buildings and stuff were better in the beta. Yeah. And then they released the main game, and I swear that they chopped the graphics or something. Or they had to, because it was, I don't know. It just
because we even said this must be like a training level or something.
Yeah, I thought it was shit.
Yeah, there's something about those like rinse and repeat. Like, you know, you get a new version every year. And I feel like EA and like the COD devs and that, they're just like, we'll just release the same thing with a new gun or something. It's like, it wears thin after a little while.
It does, man.
What was the best ones was Bad Company, right? They were
Bad
good.
Company 2 was good. Yeah.
Oh man, Bad Company 2, that was fantastic.
Mate,
I liked that.
That was the first Battlefield I played. Yeah, it was so good.
So good, yeah. Especially with your friends.
Yeah, the destruction and the jungle levels and that.
Yeah.
Like you could be a sniper in that and like genuinely hide like with your ghillie suits and that. They seem to like tone that down a bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I miss, is because the whole point of playing games is to make you feel like you're that character, right? And most people who've got a gun wants to hide in things, don't they? And just watch and just take people out. That's what most people want to do.
Sniping,
you know. But what's your favorite out of like all the consoles you've had? Like how long you've been gaming for? What's your favorite game of all time?
Oh.
It's tough, isn't it, that question?
Immediately, I would say, like, just pure nostalgia, like Zelda Ocarina of Time, something like that on, N64. They were like the golden, GoldenEye, like, oh, man.
Oh, GoldenEye, man.
Yeah, it was class.
Revolutionary.
And
Killer
just
Instinct.
that N64 era was like pure nostalgia. Thinking back, like, they're just some of the best gaming times I've had, I reckon.
Yeah. Did you ever like beat 'em ups like Street Fighter and things like that?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, so good. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Mortal
Kombat 2 and 3 were always fantastic. Always played the heck out of them.
Yeah,
it was Tekken and Killer Instinct for me.
Oh, Killer Instinct. Yeah, mate of mine had Killer Instinct. We used to play that heaps, and Tekken would go down to the arcade with Dad actually, and he'd pump some dollars in and we'd play Tekken. Yeah, that was always amazing.
Nice, man.
There's a proper skill back in the day with the arcade machines, weren't there?
Oh yeah.
You know?
It was a bit more of a show
with
and like
stick.
were you good on the spot, and it was a little more interactive.
What about VR stuff? Are you into VR? Have you got a VR headset?
I wish I was. Like, I get sick. I'm one of those people that get nauseous,
Yeah.
Like, so from what I've done, I always get nauseous, but I'm waiting for the next iteration where it won't be that bad,
What headset have you got, mate?
I don't actually own one, but a mate of mine had an early Oculus.
Okay.
So I played around in that. And just
I
was spewy in seconds.
Mate, I think that I suffered from that as well, because that's how my channel started, is like virtual reality gaming channel and stuff like that. And I felt exactly the same as you, but I kept on at it. It's something that you just learn, it just gets better. The moment you feel sick, you put it down, and then later on you put it back on again. And now, mate, I could spend all day in a virtual reality headset.
To it, don't
you?
Totally.
Yeah. And also the better
the
headsets now are so much better, and of course the computers are better. The frames per second are a lot higher now, so you don't get that delay lag. That's what messes you up, because you're turning and
the refresh rate, isn't it?
The refresh rate,
it's to do with the refresh rate.
Yeah. I totally agree. I reckon it's when it's low and your body doesn't really understand what's happening.
Yeah.
It's like those rides in like Disneyland and that. Like some of them are like VR almost. Like you sit somewhere and your seat just goes, but you're wearing. me, it's like my body's just like been poisoned. Like my forearms sweat, and I like just start like getting really sick immediately. And it's like my body's like,
oh, dude,
you're hallucinating. Something horribly's going. Something.
Yeah.
You've eaten something. We need to vomit immediately.
Imagine having a game of Phasmophobia with Kallen.
Oh mate,
that would be
so
with his
good.
voice in it as well. That would be the ghost hunting VR game.
That would be fun. The scary VR ones are terrifying. Yeah,
mate. I live stream on Twitch 3 nights a week. It's fucking great. It'd be great if one day you come on and add a game with us or something. Add a game with
absolutely.
me.
Yeah, man.
We'll
have to play something.
Yeah, anything, mate, anything. But look, I want to go through. I want to go through some questions from the community, man, because there's loads of questions. A lot of them the same one. Why do you shave your head? Or what does slapped hand mean? Here's one from Liam Keeley. Does he ever freak himself out seeing things in the dark, etc., after watching clips and videos?
I used to, yeah. I've kind of become numb to it, I guess, a bit. But
right,
like just watching them all the time. But often, like, sometimes I will wake up in the night. If I've been researching all day, and then go to sleep, I'll wake up with a fright, and you think your bean's in the corner or a ghoul or something.
And some of the videos, mate,
to you, it's in there. It's in your subconscious.
Yeah.
Some of them are probably pretty freaky. Some of the videos are a lot freakier than others, aren't they?
Oh, mate, you should see my reaction. I freaked myself out watching them.
The ones with kids and stuff, freak me out.
Oh, yeah. Because you clearly know they're not acting.
That's quite scary.
With kids.
Well, funnily enough, just going back to traveling, I was in Japan on an island. It was called Shiraishi Island.
Right.
Just super close to the mainland. It was like a 40-minute ferry. But it was this really old school island where, they grow most of their own vegetables, etc. But there was a big graveyard on there and stuff. And we were just staying in this funny little, it was almost like an Airbnb, but this was pre-Airbnb. It was just in someone's house. I remember waking up during the night there, and I was almost certain there was a shadowy figure in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
Absolutely petrified that there was someone just staring at me. Yeah, one of them, And then you kind of come to and you're like, oh, shit, what was that? But that one's always stuck with me as being a little weird because I was certain there was some dark thing in the back of the room. And just being on such a strange island, near a cemetery, old school, it just, that one irked me a little bit. Yeah,
I bet.
I'll admit that one.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Yeah, I have actually.
Oh, it's horrible,
just
right?
Waking up and just not being able to move, but you're almost certain something's coming to get you.
Oh, you felt that, did you? Because I didn't feel that.
Yeah. I'll often wake up and almost feel like I'm about to die. Actually,
oh shit.
Almost, yeah. Numerous times I've thought this is the end. I'm certain I'm about to die. This is how it goes out, and
oh my god,
I'll even start saying this. Saying my goodbyes and prepping for the end, but then
and you say this happens quite a lot.
Realize that. What's that?
And you say this happens quite a lot.
Yeah, actually, I do get that quite a bit. It's a kind of almost like a night terror, I guess.
Yeah. Where do you think that stems from, mate?
From the Vino.
From when your dad took you on that bloody trip when you were 4 years old, probably.
Yeah. Something attached itself.
Shit.
It often manifests when I'm a bit more stressed. I reckon. I reckon it's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or I've had a big day and I'm haven't had much sleep the night before, and I'll slip into a real deep sleep quite quickly. And then I find my temperature rises, and then suddenly I'm in this state where I'm nah, I'm dying for certain. I know I'm dying.
Oh,
it's really freaky.
Well,
it really
sounds like it, mate. But when you had that sleep so that's not the sleep paralysis, no?
Well, I think it borders. Sometimes I'll wake up not being able to move and be a little freaked out, and will feel as though something's coming on top of me or whatever. Other times I'll be in like a panic state and kind of wake up a little more.
Right.
Real like high heart rate. Fucking your adrenaline's racing. It's really weird. It's freaky.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Shit.
That's.
But I reckon it's stress more than anything. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Or
probably.
wine.
he's going to go bed in a bit. He's going to message me tomorrow. Go, you bastard! He's planted the seed now.
Yeah, mate.
Does he read from a script or does he do different takes? Okay.
The intros obviously are very short, so I'll just kind of, they're off the cuff. I'll just do them. Voiceovers, they're a script, pre-written script that we kind of tweak. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of everything, right? Writing the script, getting it right, getting the voice right, telling the story in a certain way. And then, I'll just do a voiceover straight into, we use Audacity, which is pretty good voiceover program.
Yeah, it is good, isn't it? It's free as well.
How many hours do you reckon you work on your YouTube channel a week?
Yeah, good question, man.
Oh, full time, man. Yeah, flat out, 8 hours a day.
Yeah, okay. Do you schedule yourself time to work on it, or do you just work on it whenever you feel like it? Or do you see it as like...
These days, we structure it almost like a job. Like back in the day, it was a little more wacky and you do it whenever. But now that like we're like have a set release schedule 3 days a week, and we do a live stream and a short, and we really have to structure it full time. And so 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week sometimes. Research and writing is the bulk of it.
That's it. People don't see what really goes on behind the scenes. When you get to a certain point in a popular channel, it just takes over your life, doesn't it? But it's definitely worth it, but it takes over your life,
Yeah, it becomes a full-time job, and then people are just like, oh, this guy's slacking off. He's showing garbage now. And it's like, mate, this episode took us 10 hours to make. Like, we're really busting our ass off here. Yeah. And they just dismiss it. It's like, it does get a little frustrating sometimes.
I bet.
Yeah. I've got one here for Lady Royal. What video has Kallen seen that he found to be the most scary and compelling evidence of the paranormal activity?
It's an interesting one. The one I often think about is it's like two little girls sitting at a table, and one of them says they see like a shadow figure in the back. It's quite famous. You'd know it once you see it.
I know which one you're on about, mate.
I've seen it.
And they absolutely shit themselves. Like, they're not putting it on. Yeah. And one of them's certain that there's something in the back room.
Yeah.
That one I often think about. An interesting one came up last week, actually. It's not a video. It's a story. We'll be featuring it next week, I think. It was I won't get the dates right. I think it was like 2019 in California. This family were driving through the Sierra National Park, and their kid like wound down the window and was like, there's a lady lying face down in the dirt with her legs up in the air.
Oh, shit.
And the parents were like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, there's a lady out in the field. Like, we need to help her.
Yeah.
And they stopped and went and had a look. There's nothing there. And they're like, well, that's weird. And then the mum posted what happened on Facebook, and like it started getting some traction. And it turned out there was a missing woman in that area. And the kid said that the lady had blue hair and a black top. And then those details caught the attention of the local sheriff, because they were like, well, hang on, the lady that went missing there had dyed blue hair and was last known wearing a black top.
No shit.
And they released the missing persons preview that they had of her. And she's got a photo of blue hair and a black top. And this is what this kid was describing.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that one's a little freaky. Obviously, there's no video to accompany it. It's more just a story. But that one was a little weird, because even the sheriff said, okay, we need to investigate in case the family knows a little more about this than, but they didn't know. They had no idea why the kid was able to say that the lady had blue hair, etc. So that one's a little freaky.
That is freaky. It also reminds me when you're talking about like children seeing stuff and things like that. I saw this clip of this boy that feels, and like to the bone, he feels like he's got a previous life. Have you seen that as a documentary?
Oh, he says a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. He's only, I think he's about 5 years old or stuff like that. He started to talk about his other mum, where he used to live in this other place.
Yeah,
and
it's really detailed, isn't it?
Really,
he describes it really detailed.
And so the documentary is, I haven't seen it, I've just seen sort of like the trailer. And the documentary is about, basically, they go, right, do you know what? This is getting out of hand now. Let's take him to this location and try and hunt down his other mother.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Yeah, yeah. When kids have weird, freaky details, it does make me wonder.
It is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well,
I saw a chimney sweep once. I used to work and I used to drive around Cornwall quite a lot, and it's the only freaky thing that's ever happened to me. And it was foggy. Picture fucking paranormal moment. It was foggy, middle of the day, couldn't see probably 50 meters in front of you, and there was a I drove past. I was doing like 20 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour through an old town down West Cornwall, and I saw a chimney sweep walking down the road with a brush on his shoulder, flat cap. He had the old like chap type trousers with the long socks.
Yeah.
And he was, I drove past him. I thought, how strange is that? Because it just came out the mist, out the fog, you know. And I drove past him, and he just turned and looked at me like that. And that was
and
it.
he went,
He was gone. No, he didn't do that. But that was just, it was just bizarre.
Particularly is pretty old school. Yeah,
it is, mate.
It was the fact that he was dressed in old school clothes that made me think afterwards. I was like, holy shit, that was actually fucking weird, you know.
To be fair, though, I think because people still do that. Obviously.
Yeah, but they don't dress like that, you know, unless he was going to fancy dress.
I don't know, do they?
Well, mate, you had like the waistcoat and everything.
Maybe
you know?
it's something because of it's so old school. They like to keep that.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
maybe it wasn't paranormal at all. But afterwards, I thought, fuck me, that I reckon that's
pretty weird.
Yeah,
it is weird. Yeah,
that's the only weird thing that's ever happened like that to me.
I remember a mate of mine telling a story. His brother was driving along, and the car in front of him suddenly slammed the brakes on. And they are certain that a shadow went over the top of the car like a second before the car braked.
No way.
What?
Like just a weird, freaky shadow, like went right over the top of the car, and then they braked. And the car just sat there in the middle of the road for like a minute or two, and then just slowly drove off. And they were just like, that's all that happened. But they were just like, what the heck? Did you see that? Like, they swear black and blue that it's something kind of went over the car, and then it just braked in the middle of the road.
Shit.
That's always a weird one I think about.
How long do you think your channel is there ever going to a point where you just go, okay, do you know what? I've had enough now. I want to stop this. I mean, how many years do you reckon?
I've woken too many times in the middle of the night thinking I'm dying. I've had enough.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. If you could do one thing, like have a separate YouTube channel, be like, this is what I really want to fucking do, what would it be?
Whoa. I mean, it would always be fun doing like a more formal documentary almost, you know what I mean? Like where you go to the place and you research the area a little more and you know, whether it's
you actually going to the
or,
locations.
You know, and writing and presenting like a more formal documentary, I think, has always been something that we would love to do. We've never really had the time to kind of get into that, but I reckon that would be something I'd love to do, like go out there with a full camera crew and film it and research it on the ground. I think that'd be something, if we had the time, we'd be doing.
In what sort of area? Around the paranormal or around mysteries or
both, man? Yeah. Interesting true crime stuff, supernatural stuff, you know, just weird, mysterious areas. And
I reckon you could do it, mate. You could do sort of, I don't know, like record 2, or just even if you had 1 week off of uploading, you know, you could say to your community, look guys, I've got something special coming up, you know, or something that I really want to do close to the heart. Go out and do that, and then just like upload it, like drop an album like Eminem does, you know, just fucking drop it and go boom, mic drop, and see you later.
Check this shit out.
Do you know what I mean? You know.
Well, pre-pandemic, we were like seriously contemplating like doing live urbex sort of stuff, you know, like couple of cameras, it's all live, and we all just go through and have a laugh and explore places. Because a mate of mine used to sort of do that sort of stuff, and he has quite a few connections with some historic sites here in Victoria, and we've actually got like, some really interesting old sanatoriums and, you know, all those like the old Melbourne jail and all that sort of stuff. There is some fun areas here that would be fun. We were gearing up to do that sort of thing, and then the pandemic took a shit on everyone, and I guess we just sort of lost sight of that a little bit. But
are you guys
we'll
okay?
Back into that.
Are you all right over there now with the pandemic and stuff? Is it calming down? Or?
Yeah, I mean, our numbers have gone back up significantly, but everyone's sort of pretending it doesn't exist. But you know,
but Australia, you guys like it seemed to be on the news a lot, and then it got quite bad, didn't it, in Australia? Like you had camps and stuff set up, and
and I think Melbourne, we had the longest lockdown in the world. We were just stuck in our apartment here for, I think it was 200 days or more. Like we couldn't leave. It was something else.
Yeah.
The police were really enforcing it hard, weren't they, on people?
Yeah, here Victoria was super strict. Yeah.
Really, they reckon now, mate, that the lockdowns are probably responsible for more deaths than the actual fucking virus. Like overall long term, like mental illness, everything. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
How's it going over there now? Like you guys are back to normal almost, hey?
Oh, mate, yeah.
It's like it's never existed, mate. Yeah. It's almost like, oh yeah, there's a virus. Everyone's shit scared. Oh, we don't know what to do. Let's lock the whole fucking world down. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. Just go back to normal, guys. And they fuck the whole world for that.
I got COVID 3 weeks ago.
Oh wow!
4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. Yeah. For the I would say first time since like it came out. And but I'll be honest with you, throughout the whole COVID thing, I didn't really. I put the masks on, and you know, but I didn't do anything extra for myself to keep myself clean and like, you know, do the hands. I had to when I did when I had to go into certain places.
When you had to
clean your hands and that. But I just sort of like I just went through life as no different. And the thing is, the job that I had to do, my life didn't change. My life didn't change at all. I still had to go to work.
Yeah, right.
I went home. Yep. So that's why I feel the only difference was I had to put on a mask. That's how it was different for me.
Yeah, no, ours was huge here, like post-apocalyptic,
it was
streets
crazy.
Empty, stay in your house for days on end. It was 200 days or more or whatever. It was real full on.
Yeah, it's been tough, mate.
But you're all right now.
Yeah, we're getting there. I had it in June. Funnily enough, I went to Indonesia, so it was my first international trip in years. 2 days into being in Indonesia, I caught it.
Oh shit!
And it hit me pretty hard. I was feverish and knackered. And luckily, the hotel there really looked after us, and they actually upgraded us to a private villa and said, "Stay here for 10 days. Like, look after yourself. Like, you'll be away from the rest of the resort." And so we had our own pool, and we're in this marble villa. And
lush, man.
You could get everyone going over there now going, I've got COVID.
Yeah.
I heard that you could upgrade me.
And we had like room service 3 days, three times a day, and it was actually pretty cool.
Nice.
In terms of doing it and being sick, it was a pretty good way of doing it.
Yeah, man. Well, mate, do you realise we've been chatting for pretty much 2 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
It's crazy. What time's it over there for you now?
It's 11 p.m.
Yeah. What time do you usually go to bed? Round about now?
Oh, no. I'll linger for a couple more hours. All sweet.
No, he's still got another 2 bottles of wine down to his left-hand side there. Look.
Yeah, exactly.
Got another 2 bottles here.
Are you like a nocturnal person?
I am, more of a night sort of person. I do a lot of my work like early evening.
Yeah.
And my mornings are pretty slow, I guess,
Yeah.
linger over a coffee, and then, I won't be most productive till about 5 p.m. maybe 5 till 9 or 5 till 10 are kind of my most productive times. A little bit different to most people.
At night, my imagination and mind starts flickering, thinking about ideas and stuff, and that's when I feel most active.
Yeah, you just got to figure out when you're most creative, and and acknowledge that. A lot of people kind of normal jobs, you have to kind of do the 9 to 5, and sometimes people just can't cope with that.
That I was just going to say, it's true. You've got to listen to your body, and the way like life is for most people is like you wake up and you do your 9 to 5. People really struggle with that because it's just against their natural flow in life.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's unproductive. Like one thing that's come good out of this pandemic is like the new work model, people more from home, people being able to do their own hours, more flexible. If you're an introvert, you don't want to go into an office and chat shit to Greg from accounting or whatever. You want to just get to do your own thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, mate.
It's true. A lot of because I've seen like little clips and stuff of people going, "This is the best thing ever." I'm an introvert. I don't want to interact with people.
Yeah, and you get more work done, and absolutely.
Definitely. If you feel like in your own environment comfortable, you can stop and have a coffee whenever you want, and not like the school, you have to put your hand up to go to the toilet and all that sort of stuff. Obviously it's not usually that bad in workplaces, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Yeah. What was just quickly before we call it? What was the previous jobs that you had?
Oh man,
Breaking Bad.
All sorts.
Did you used to cook meth? From a new haircut, man. Where's your glasses?
A little bit in that.
Put your glasses on, man.
No, I was like a serial job quitter almost. Like nothing worked. Like hospitality, bartender, waiter. I worked in a cheese factory for a bit.
Nice.
A chocolate
slapped ham and cheese.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I worked in the Cadbury factory here in Australia, and like it didn't resonate. Like it felt like my soul was dying working in a factory. Like it didn't resonate. Obviously, and then I went and traveled and figured out I wanted to be a writer, and then this, and I really resonate with being an entrepreneur kind of thing, like doing my own thing and finding my own freedom. Because jobs do not resonate with me at all.
And one last question then: where did this come from? You've got to do that at the end. You've got to do that at the end.
Yeah,
man.
That's how we'll finish it. It's just how I leave rooms, man.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Hey, listen, mate, you're a legend, and like the what you give for people as well, like the entertainment and like that way of letting people just escape their lives if you wish, of just blocking everything out and just being entertained by Slap Ham. You entertain millions of people around the world. And I know, you've got a lot of Americans, but it's also tapping into when you've got so much subscribers, you're still hitting other parts of the world. And so well done to you, mate. And again, thank you for letting me.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Yeah, watch and react and stuff like that. And
absolutely, man. Yeah. No, it's thanks for saying these kind words. Yeah, like sometimes, like I was saying, like I'll just work away in my office here, and it feels like you're just doing your thing. But when you do live streams and when you interact with podcasts and different things, and you hear how people have enjoyed the stuff that you're putting out there, it does make a difference. Like we get feedback from our audience all the time, like, oh, you got me through a hard time. I was depressed, or I watched your things, after a breakup for 2 years, or, stuff like that. Like it makes it so worthwhile.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like just making content for the sake of it is great. But when you hear those stories, it just makes it so much more worthwhile.
Yeah. So you've got obviously YouTube channel Slapped Ham. I'll put all the links down below.
Yeah.
So make sure you go over there and subscribe and do the thing. And you've got Facebook.
Yep.
Slapped Ham. You've got you on Instagram as well.
Instagram.
Twitter.
Instagram is kind of a little bit more personal, I guess. You sort of see it's just photos of me being a dick behind the scenes.
Nice.
So if you
Okay,
want
but
to get
people-
involved with that,
Yeah, man.
that it's it is what it is. And then TikTok as well. Twitter, we do what we do as well. So yeah, we're on all the main platforms for sure.
Cool. Make sure you follow and do the thing.
Yeah,
Again,
definitely.
Yep.
mate, thank you
All
so
the
much.
thing-
Stay on because we'll just have a little chat when we stop recording.
Yep.
But yeah, any last messages or anything you want to say, dude?
Oh, just thanks, man. It's been a blast. It's been a wide-ranging conversation for 2 hours. It's been awesome, man. Finally connecting. I'll have to get over there and meet you boys in person.
Definitely, mate. That'd be
I'm telling
amazing.
you, and if you need any help from me, like, getting you over here or anything like that, just
Yeah.
whatever you need, man, just give me a call. We'll talk about it and we'll do something.
We'll have to play something on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Let me just try and think. What time would it be? I usually stream
You're
from
8 p.m.
8 p.m. till 11 p.m.
It'd be 5 in the
it's gonna
morning
be
for Callen.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
We'll have to do a late one night
Yeah.
till 2 in the morning
Yeah.
and
We'll figure-
invite him.
We'll figure out
Or
some
I'll do a
time.
midday one or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do a midday one. Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
figure
mate.
it out.
Take care, Callen. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.